Hey there, welcome to healthreconnected.com, the future of healthcare. On our website, we fully disclose how human consciousness is connected to the space-time continuum. Now, this is super important because what it's about to prove is that choices matter. You see, if we make selfish choices, if we make choices that harm each other, that harm our societies, that harm our environment, what's really happening is it's harming our body. And our choices have equal and opposite reactions. So if you want to slow down the aging process, you really have to work on developing more mutually beneficial plutonic choice that's going to help everybody equally. And that's how you can slow the aging process, how you can prevent future states of disease. And if you're currently struggling with a disease or a condition, this is how you would stabilize it. Super, super important to understand. Now, the math that proves this, that's this first tab right here on the homepage. Sentient space-time fractal construct decoded. This is all the geometry, hardcore math here. And as hardcore math as it is, as I try to write it in a way that even the layperson can get something out of this. There's a ton of diagrams, it's relatively short, and at the very least, scroll to the bottom and check out immediate conclusions, okay? It says what this means and how valuable it is to understand how this works. Now, if this is over your head and you're thinking after you get done with this button, I don't know what I'm going to do with this information, don't sweat it. It's going to pull you into step one. And step one starts out with an informational video. I literally rehash the information. I do it in an interactive way where I'm showing you how everything works and I step by step walk you through the process. And by the time you're done with that video, you're going to have a much better grasp of what this is. Now, from step one, that's going to pull you into step two, into step three, into step four. And there's actually 8 steps in this process. And in these steps, we teach you all about the space-time continuum, how it works. We introduce technology we created that organizes all of the cycles in the space-time continuum. You see, think about our life. It's nothing but repeating cycles. And at the largest level that we see every year, we have the 4 seasons that cycle again and again and again. Now, within those larger cycles, there's all kinds of smaller cycles happening, and that's what our technology is actually organizing. So it kind of gives you an idea of the importance of this. If you want to get ready, for example, for the winter season, you got to know when that's going to happen. You got to know when the spring season is going to happen so you can get ready for that season. So understanding when these cycles are coming in and out of effect and how they affect our bodies, and especially if you're not choosing right during specific cycles of time, it will explain why different parts of your body aren't feeling well. Okay, so that kind of introduces what this is right here. So this purple button is all about aging and all about suffering. And what this does is it's going to allow you to confirm that this pattern is absolutely in control of our experiences. So the AGO page really lays out what selfish choice is, and then we have some really cool technology embedded on this page where if you're getting a headache, for example, or your back is hurting, for example, you'll be able to go to a live feed and it will tell you exactly what cycle's in control and what choices you would want to refine and be less selfish in order not to hurt, age, and suffer as much. We also have some technology on here where you can literally just punch in your birth date and it will show 128 years worth of aging that's directly connected to your birth time. And this will blow your mind. So, for example, if you're 25 years old and you punch in your birth time, you can look at the first 25 years of your life and you can confirm for yourself every year that was stressful, every year that you had an injury, or if you were hospitalized or had some major trauma, it will predict that year. And you're going to go, how is this possible? Because we're in a repeating cyclical design. And this repeating cyclical geometric design is trying to teach us. And unfortunately, it teaches us through negative consequences. When we make selfish choice, we get negative consequences, and those negative consequences are designed to help us make better or more positive choices going forward in the future. We want everyone to confirm this for themselves. Don't take my word for it. We've broken the space-time continuum, and by understanding how this works, you're going to see the power of your choice because your choices are what's either causing you to suffer or your choices also have the ability to make things a whole lot better. Now, that's what this blue button is about. This will take you to a page called the Predicto page. And on this page, we're showing you every single cycle, small and large, that's currently in control and how you would want to prepare. What do I mean prepare? So every cycle is just testing us on different relationships. And the relationships it tests us on is how we get along in the first person perspective, how we get along in the third person perspective. So that's like how we get along in the larger and smaller parts of society. And then also, it's going to test us on how we're engaging our environment. And depending on how your choices are, it'll tell you where you're going to hurt if you're not doing very well. And if you're not doing well, it just means you're selfishly thinking. You're thinking about yourself, and that's damaging different aspects of the things that you interact with. And by knowing when this is coming, you can prepare for it, which will allow you to do much better and to be able to slow the aging process, stabilize health conditions, and ultimately optimize your health. So you're going to want to visit this every single day and check out the forecast and be able to look at the live feed to see exactly what's happening. All right, so we're going to give you a little taste here too at the bottom. So this is a live feed space-time clock. This is the thing that we designed that shows every cycle that's currently in effect. There are 12 different cycles that are in effect at any given moment in time. And I know right now this looks overwhelming. Look at all these colors. Look at all these shapes. Look at all this stuff. What does it mean? Don't worry. We've got an 8-step process that explains how all this works. It won't take long before you'll look at this like you look at your watch, and you're going to be able to understand what needs to happen in the future if you want things to get better. Okay, so let's scroll back here to the top, and we're going to check out the next page on the website. So the next page we're going to go to is the HRT tool page. Now, this page has embedded technology that's not going to work super well with your mobile device. This is where you're going to want to use a tablet or computer. This is that space-time clock, but it's interactive. So what you can do here is you can punch in your birth time, and it will literally show your circadian rhythms and how you are personally connected to the space-time continuum. Your circadian rhythms, those are the internal cycles that regulate your body. So everything that tells you when to digest, when to be active, when to sleep, all of your routines are guided by this. You're going to want to use this technology. This gives you a huge advantage to understand the rhythms that make you who you are. And then above the embedded technology here, we've got step 5, step 6, and step 7. So by this time, we've taught you about the space-time continuum. We're showing you how to use the technology, and then we embed this version of our technology so that you can actually use and practice. Okay, let's keep moving here. So the next page we're going to check out is the About page. Now, the About page just talks about me a little bit, who I am, how I figured this stuff out. It's got a really cool video embedded here that shows, like, in layperson terms, in the most simplistic fashion, the core geometry that connects human consciousness to the space-time continuum. This is a cool video. You're going to want to check that one out. Then we've got the website tour videos. That's what we're actually doing now. So you can get the tour video here, and then it's got a little bio on me. It's got the inspiration behind Health Reconnected and the special thanks for all the individuals that helped create this. So definitely check out that special thanks section. There's some key individuals that really helped this process out. Without them, this site wouldn't be functional. Okay. A good friend of mine, his name is Jeremy. He is the one that helped create all the technology embedded on this site. Say thank you to that guy because what he's done here is absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Jeremy. I wanted you to know how much I appreciate you, buddy. All right, so let's keep moving here. That's the About page. Okay, so next page we're going to check out here is the Resources page. So when we get to the Resources page, you see right on the top here, Optimal Health Instruction Manual. Now think about it. Everything that's ever been designed has an instruction manual. Now so does our body. And what this really is, it's a manual to help you understand how to transition your thought from self-based or selfish thought to whole-based or selfless thought, so mutually beneficial thought. And this is super important information. So this is 7 chapters. It's 29 pages. There's a download here. So if you want to download the manual, you can download the whole thing. I would encourage you to do this right away. Understanding this is going to help you more than the technology is, because the technology is going to tell you why you hurt, where you hurt, and when you're going to hurt, but it's not going to actually help you understand the big concept and what's really got to change at the individual level, but also at the collective level. Our societies are going to have to restructure. We're going to have to reboot here, and this manual is going to help you understand how you're part of that and what the bigger picture here is eventually going to look like. So definitely very important stuff. Again, 29 pages, a couple hours worth of reading, read it multiple times. Okay, I can't say that enough. That's important stuff there. Okay, so these last five links down here, this kind of step by step lays out how I figured this all out, how I kind of came up with the hypothesis. I started to understand the geometry. I had some revelations or some visions, and this video right here explains how two-dimensional geometry is connected to the three-dimensional geometry, and eventually I figure out how all of this stuff is interconnected, and that's how we build this technology. So this step by step walks you through all of this stuff. And I tried as best I could to really write this in layman's terms so that if you take the time to look at these resources, you're going to get something out of it. So for like my Abrahamic religion people, this how macrolinear time is organized, you're going to want to check that out because it ties it into like the Old Testament and the New Testament and all of the geometry and all of the different ways that they talk about, like they use parables and stories that are actually explaining this fractal geometry. And fractal mathematics weren't really figured out until the 1970s. So they were literally understanding mathematics before we had the technological capacity to even understand what they were. So that's pretty cool stuff there. Obviously, decoding the Giza Pyramid Complex, decoding the Temple of Kukulkan. This is some pretty technical stuff in here, but again, it's kind of interesting. And I went out of my way to make sure that this was accessible for most people. Okay. Now, is this necessary? No, this isn't necessary. But full disclosure is important. We want you to know everything that's possible. And that's really the best way to do relationship is full disclosure. All right, so we're done with this page now. The resources page has got a lot of good information on it. You're going to want to spend some time here. The next place we're going to here is the contact page. Okay, so on the contact page here, obviously, we want you to spread this message now that we understand what causes aging, what's causing disease, what's causing death, what's causing suffering. We want to tell as many people as possible. We want you to share this with all your social media contacts, and we want you to get invested in this process because we want you to do better as well. In addition, we have this contact form. So if you have resources that can help us develop what we started here, I mean, think about this. This website's pretty cool, don't get me wrong. But this is like the Fred Flintstone version of what's coming. We're about to build George Jetson, but for that, we're going to need corporate partners. We're going to need governments. We're going to need everything coming together here. And we can't do this until we unite. We literally have to unite within our nations. We got to unite this world. We got to unite all the different sectors and we got to use this technology to our advantage. And this is what's going to be guiding the future. Okay. So, really, if you've got any way that you can help us make this happen faster, contact us immediately. All right. That's what this is all about. Next page we're going to go to the vlog. Okay, so on this page, once you've learned about the space-time continuum, once you've downloaded our technology and you're trying to figure out how to use it, this step by step shows you what the basics are, and then it starts to get more into advanced navigation. And I do videos just like I'm doing this tour with. I show you how to use the technology, how to read your circadian rhythms, how to harness the power of your rhythm so that you can maximize your sleep, so that you can maximize your body's ability to heal. Also, it allows you to know when you're going to be in agitated states. Everybody knows that sometimes we're just a little off. And you're going to be able to look forward in time and see when you're going to be off before it happens so that when that happens, you stay calm, cool, and collective and you don't create any more stress for yourself or anybody else. That's why this technology is super important. It literally lets you eliminate the stress that gets you older, that makes things unpleasant. That's what this is all about, making things better. So that's what this vlog is all about. And this is something that you're going to get into after you're comfortable with the technology. This will be something you do in the later phases here. Okay. All right. So the last thing we're going to look at is this blog. All right. Now, this blog post I put together because this is like the geometric law of our existence. And we have been living in a way that is really out of balance with this law, which means a lot of things are going to have to change. And there's going to be a lot of change that happens in a short amount of time. And this is going to be difficult for a lot of people. So when you navigate to this blog, you're going to click down here and it's going to take you to this document that's about peace and optimal health. Okay. And this kind of outlines what needs to happen, and it's going to kind of help you understand it's okay that you're going to feel upset about this. Like, we're literally going to go through the five stages of grief because what's dying here is the way we thought it works. You see, when this mathematical evidence comes out, it changes everything. Who wants to suffer? And it's going to force us to make some choices that we maybe not wanted to make, but we know are right for us. And the sooner that we get through these stages of grief, the sooner we get over the anger, the sooner we get over the denial, the sooner we get over all the things that stop us from, embracing this, the faster this is going to get better for all of us. And it's going to be important to know that everybody is going to be going through these 5 stages of grief all at the same time as this evidence is coming out, because who wants to think that technology can predict when they're going to hurt and why they're going to hurt because they've been making choices and they have routines that aren't healthy for them and aren't healthy for the people around them. So this is kind of important to understand, and it just kind of outlines, it's okay to be upset right now, but let's understand what this means. Let's move forward together, because realistically, right now, we're suffering the maximal amount. This is the math, okay? 83% we can improve this. Look around, look at our climate, look at our societies. Things are at this very climactic negative place right now. And this is the moment where things are about to shift. And this negativity is actually going to turn into positivity. But for that to happen, we got to get through this acceptance part. We can't deny what's going on here. We got to make this a priority. We got to spread this message. We got to digest this message. And then we got to use this information to our immediate advantage. All right. So I am so happy that you came here and you decided to do this tour with me through the website. I want you to share this website with as many people as you possibly can and get started on going through all our resources and learning how this works. This is the most important thing you can do if you care about how you feel and you want things to get better. All right, that concludes the tour. We'll see you at the website when we're showing you how all this stuff works. Talk to you then.